So in the 70s when you were first getting going, how many different organizations were there? Were there like small local places and then there's one big one that was on television? Like how many different organizations were there back then?
Like when I grew up, I saw Florida Championship Wrestling, and I saw, that's the only thing I saw,
So that was like a local?
Yeah, it was just a local promotion.
Was it cable back then?
No.
Regular
it was just
TV.
local TV, and we didn't get Channel 17, Ted Turner's cable. And at the time, I didn't know that there was Madison Square Garden, New York territory, that is New York, New Jersey, and Massachusetts. And then there was like Minnesota, Vern Gagne's territory. Then there was Fritz Von Erich, Dallas. Bill Watts had Louisiana. Michael LaBelle had L.A. So there were all these little teeny territories, and all the promoters respected each other. So if Joe Rogan had Texas, I would never come in to Dallas and try to run a show in your area. There are these imaginary boundaries that you don't cross, you respect. That was Vince McMahon Sr.
Yeah.
And he was loyal to all these promoters, and every once in a while he'd send like superstar Billy Graham down to Florida to wrestle, or Ox Baker from New York down to wrestle. And we'd see these guys come in, and I didn't know where they came from. But they'd come in, and the local hero, like Dusty Rhodes, would beat them up, and they'd be gone. So I had no idea how the whole system worked, and all I saw was Florida Championship Wrestling. So after I got in, and I figured out all these territories, like I went to Minnesota and wrestled, and I went to North Florida, the Fuller Territory, which is Pensacola, and all through Mobile, Alabama, and Birmingham, that small territory. I went to Memphis and worked for Lawler and Jerry Jarrett for a while. But then when I went to work for Vince Jr., and I went back after being fired and having my first run in New York, when I went back in '84 to beat the Iron Sheik, Vince wanted to cross all those imaginary boundaries, and I'm going, wow, this is going to be dangerous. So Vince says, are you up for it? I said, yeah, I'll do it. And so Vince stayed in Connecticut, in Greenwich, in the office, and, then I was booked in Lafayette, Louisiana. We pump our signal in there for like 8 weeks. Prime example is Kankas City. I don't know if you ever heard of a wrestler named Harley Race.
Yeah, of course.
NWA champion, tougher than hell, meaner than a snake. Great guy, though, okay? We pumped the signal into Kankas City for 8 weeks. And Harley Race has been there like 18 years. He was the NWA champion. I'm the champion of the world, and he's a very proud and mean son of a. And all of a sudden, here comes this blonde-haired idiot from New York going, hey, I'm the WWF champion. I'm the WWE champion. I'm coming to Kemper Arena. And we're pumped the signal. So I fly into town, and I show up about 2 in the afternoon. My guys call me, Harley Race came down here with a gun. He tried to light the ring on fire.
Whoa.
And had the cops ran him up, and they didn't arrest him. I went, oh, and they told me, Harley said, when I show up, he's going to kill you. So I go across the street, and I go to the Rusty Scupper, this bar, right? And I was notorious at the time for not kind of like being on time, because the matches would start like at 7:30 to 8 o'clock, and they wanted you at the building at 6:30. I'd come rolling at about 9:30, after intermission, and I'd have time to put my boots on, because I don't want to talk about wrestling. I just want to go do it. It's like playing guitar or anything. It's like chess. You think 2-3 moves ahead. And so now I don't need to be at the building early. I damn sure don't want to run into Harley Race. This guy's going to kill me. I'm scared to death of him anyway. I've known him since I was a kid, So now I'm across the Rusty Scupper drinking bottles of wine. And now I got to go to the building, okay? So now I go to the building, and I had to go to the bathroom, and my stomach was killing me. So I'm sitting there on the toilet going to the bathroom. And I don't know if you know a wrestler named Davey Boy Smith, the British Bulldog.
Yep.
Oh, my God, the king's here. The king is here. He's going to kill you, Hogan. Davey Boy comes in and screams at me. I pull my wrestling yellow tights up. Don't even wipe my ass. As fast as I could, because I don't want to get caught with my pants down in there. I want to have a fighting chance. I come blowing out of the bathroom. I turn around the corner. He puts that gun right in my face. And we're in Kemper Arena. And he goes, you know what? I should kill you, Hogan, for coming in here and doing this. And this is Harley Race talking to me. And then he puts the gun down. He goes, but I really need a job.
Wow.
I went, holy holy I shook his hand, brother. And I was a huge fan. Loved the guy to death anyway. But that's the type of stuff me and Vince were doing. We're going to other people's territories. And then, you go through you know, you go to hotel rooms and stuff. You never know when stuff's going to put crap in your bag or stuff like that. We went down to Puerto Rico. But anyway, Harley became a good friend again. And I knew him before I was a fan. He used to come hear the band play and everything. But anyway, like going down to Puerto Rico. First time we go down to Puerto Rico. I've never been to Puerto Rico before. All the boys tell me how violent it is. They cut you. They burn you with cigarettes. They throw everything at you in Puerto Rico. So I'd never been. I didn't need to go. But now Vince wants to go down to Puerto Rico. And Carlos Colon had the territory there for like 30 or 40 years. So here we come. And I go rolling down to Puerto Rico with Cyndi Lauper with me, right? So I go down to Puerto Rico, and we have the match, and we sell at the stadium. Me and Macho Man go back to the room, and we go walk in his room, and his room is trashed. His room is trashed. And so all of a sudden, I go, oh, my God, let me go to my room. So all of a sudden, I go to my room, and I don't want to say the guy's name, but when I open the door, he's sitting there, and because he's still really active, and he's sitting there with a gun. He said, if you ever come back here, I'm going to kill you. So, okay. I was going back to Tampa. I hauled ass to the airport. I got on an Eastern Airlines flight, the last one out of town, and flew to L.A. I was supposed to be going home to Tampa. About 4 months later, Bruiser Brody goes down there, has a little argument. The booker calls him into the shower, cuts his throat, and kills him.
Jesus Christ.
So that's down there in Puerto Rico.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys ever heard the Brody story.
The promoter cut his throat
Well,
and
he was
killed
the
him?
booker. He was one of the invaders, Rodriguez. And Brody was kind of hard to do business with in the ring. He's really stiff and would beat the shit out of you. He wouldn't put anybody over. And he was a big man, 6'8", 330 pounds, in crazy shape. And, you know, they wanted to beat him. He was, nah, not tonight, brother. You know?
Wow.
So after the match, they said, hey, Jose wants to talk to you in the shower. Brody went walking in the shower. He jumped him, cut his throat, and died right there. And all the wrestlers that saw it were afraid to go back and testify. So